Maintenance of tree canopy, I read a report recently that there are now insects that are taking out some of the emerald ash borers. So there is some predators now available at last for that one. How well they're going to take them out, I don't know.
I searched an ash tree yesterday, up and down for an ash borer. I thought it might have happened, but there were none. There were no D-shaped exit holes.
Good.
There were a lot of other letters. No D's.
A lot of other borders, yeah.
Okay, good. I think we're ready then to move on to the no-mow proposals, and I think our TV people are going to try and put up a copy of these plans that I've got. All I've got printed are black and white, but there are some colour pictures as well. So let me pass these out if people haven't got them. This is the one for behind Walmart.
And Ron, just a quick question about Arbor Day. If we were using the middle school, ideally it would be walking distance would be the ideal scenario. And planting a tree uptown doesn't make any sense. I'm just trying to think of someplace nearby where we might want to...
The bank behind there from the middle school.
What's that?
The bank behind the middle school.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Get some trees on that bank.
That would be perfect, yeah.
No, not yet. I'm just thinking of things off the top of my head that would probably be an improvement to the school. Also maybe a barrier for vehicles and pedestrians.
Yeah, I think that would be good, and it would hold soil
while
there
we're
as
waiting
well.
for the,
Good, and it is walking distance.
Exactly.
while we're waiting for the...
I like that. Thank you.
The one that's on the screen at the moment is the proposal for a no-mow area behind Walmart. What I've done here is I've taken the map view from, I think it was the Bing maps, because the Google maps are rather grey at the moment. Must have been some cloud cover or something. Anyway, this one shows in red, those red bars, the region that I think we should designate as a no-mow area. It's the sloped area behind Walmart on the south side of the bicycle path. It would leave a 5-foot wide strip at least on between it and the bike path for mowing. And the bottom edge will be designated just by the bottom of the slope. In fact, you can see in this satellite photograph that the way that the bottom of the slope at the moment is being mowed by someone, and they're not encroaching on that sloped area. And so this is the area that we will propose. Now the process, this being the first time we've gone through it, the process is that we will make, assuming that we agree, this recommendation then goes to the Service Safety Director, and it'll be up to the Service Safety Director, presumably with Ron's assistance, to formally identify that site and how it's to be communicated to the people doing the mowing and so on. We're not going to deal with those sort of details. But as long as she doesn't have any objection to this, then this would be an area that we would set aside to allow for succession growth to take place. There's already several small trees growing in there. It's an area that I think wildlife would begin to inhabit quite quickly once the trees are there. And just out of that picture is an existing line of trees that runs most of the way towards the sewage work site. So it's really what this is going to do is extend that line of trees along behind Walmart. So that is the proposal for this area. Are there any questions?
Can I ask a question regarding the nature of the trees that are going to grow there? Number of volunteers or whatnot. If we get too many clumps, like say 4 or 5 trees that are starting to take off in an area, would we want to trim one out? Or just let it go, leave it alone? Okay.
Yeah, I think the only time you're going to have to intercede is if the tree turns out to be a species that is too tall for that area, because there are high voltage cables over there. But the ones I've seen coming up there were elderflower, and box elder. And those two are not going to grow that fast up to that height, and so they're probably okay. The other species that are probably going to come in there are the wild cherry. That one might grow up high enough, but it'll take a long time to get there. So I don't think there'll be any
Really
need
just
to really
leave it
go.
alone, let nature take its course.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Could there conceivably be a problem with it getting kind of dense so that people can sort of spend a lot of time overnight there? I understand that there's a situation where there are some people over near the Holiday Inn, west of that, who are sort of in the, I think, homeless people in the woods there. And I don't know, I'm not saying they should or shouldn't be there.
Typically what we notice is people seeking shelter, and it's under bridges and things like that, under the library access road. We haven't seen any out this far, have we, John?
That
Have we?
strip,
Yes.
Okay.
that strip is.
I didn't want to say
it's-
anything.
It's
well,
quite
that's fine.
narrow,
It's
and I
something
don't
to
think
think
that
about.
will be a problem there. As you go further west, it does get much deeper, and in fact, there's a section that's probably at least 100 yards deep, near to where the recreation centre is. So if we've got a problem, we've got a problem already, and I don't
Okay.
think that this is going to add to it.
Okay.
Any other questions?
What's the advantage to this versus planting trees and trying to keep the area, do whatever we've got to do to maintain the trees there?
Money?
Money?
This is free. No maintenance. Yeah. This is the attraction. I mean, you cut down on the mowing and you get trees out of it at the end of the day. You get wildlife, you get stability of that bank. I mean, it looks like a win-win all the way around. There just doesn't seem to be a downside to it, as far as I can see.
It's kind of what was there when there was a railroad bed.
Yeah.
And much of it got cut down when the AEP put lines in back there.
Yeah. So, do we agree this is one we should forward to the Service Safety Director? Their approval?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. We'll move that one forward. Can you see if you can find the other map of mine in there? This one is an area at the intersection of East State Street and 33. And for many years there's been a Virginia juniper growing right up in the top corner. You can see its shadow just in amongst those red lines that I've drawn on there. The shape is arbitrary at the moment, and again, this is one where it'll be up to the Service Safety Director and Ron to decide exactly what shape to have in there for the convenience of the people mowing the area. It's a very steep slope. It's one that looks to me like the benefit here is that you're cutting down the amount of mowing on steep slopes that you've got to do. The concept here is that Virginia juniper has had seedlings grow successfully in the past, but they've then been mown down. So we could clearly just let nature propagate trees from that into that corner. They could ultimately propagate quite a long way along that bank, and so we could probably even cut out mowing for most of that bank. And as far as I'm aware, the state is not going to require the city to mow or remove those trees. And I think it would be to the advantage of the city not to have to mow that area.
That has to be unsafe. A mower on that.
We don't mow that. We weed whack it. It's part of the area is it gets very steep, so our mowers don't take that angle real well. So we'll go up along the south end, the north side of East State Street along the south there, and just work our way up at an angle, and leave the rest of it. And when it gets tall, we'll weed whack it.
So it's really labor intensive.
Yeah.
So again, it's up to you and the Service Safety Director to define the area. I think at least 6 feet around that tree should be kept clear, but I've indicated a much bigger area that is possible. Those trees propagate very successfully, I think, in this area. They're a native species. It's an ideal tree for that sort of bank and
Yeah, it'll do well on the slope.
Yeah.
Do you not have the same situation on the south side of East State Street?
It's not, we do. We do the same thing on the,
There
on the south
isn't a
side.
Virginia juniper there at the moment.
Yeah, we do the same thing, John. We mow and
Yeah.
turn. so that
But
we're
I'm
not
thinking,
going
why
then
not
we
do the
whack.
same thing there?
If there was a tree there, we could do, yes.
Oh, you're saying because there's no tree there?
Yeah. I'm
It's
taking
not
that.
mowing, a tree could come in there.
It's possible that if we stop mowing in that corner, a tree could come in there, yes. Yeah. So, I mean, certainly we could look at another proposal to set aside a no-mow area on the other side of the street if that's a reasonable thing to go doing.
I wouldn't mind thinking about, what's growing there. What's growing there now is pretty shaggy. Would it be of benefit to plant some kind of wildflower mix or something up through there?
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you wanted to plant that, but that would certainly look better.
Yeah.
A lot better. I mean, I've just come back from Minnesota, and they do a beautiful job of planting the roadsides there.
But those do not continue to maintain themselves, do they? Don't they have to be replanted?
Well, that was what surprised me about Minnesota. It looked like they'd managed to get succession going.
It's all those prairie species, they'll just reseed, they'll go.
Yeah.
The soil supports it.
Yeah. So I think it really depends on what you plant. And
We've done some mixes on the bike path, and they've come back. We don't do anything with it.
But the thing is with those mixes, they work if you mow it.
that was the thing about them.
Lord, or burn it.
They weren't
Raggedy.
as far as I could tell.
I wonder if they have this, well, they got,
Yeah.
I wonder if there's a no-mow mix out there.
No, when I mean mow it, like every 3 years or something, they respond to that. They need to have, for them to propagate and to keep on going, they need that disturbance. So pretty much it would be like at least every 3 years, cut it down, and they can maintain itself. So there we go.
I'll leave you to figure this one out.
Still low maintenance.
I want the trees. Wildflowers are fine too, but we really want the trees.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever seen it when it gets to be high. It's pretty rough looking.
Looks fine to me.
If there are complaints, then
You say, oh, this is our prairie. We're dealing with a prairie up here.
And over time, the trees will shade out a lot of that, but that's
Right.
time
Yeah.
intensive.
Okay, so we approve putting this one
I
forward.
would like to make one more comment. This was one of the areas that was proposed to be in our Gateway grant to plant trees on.
Oh, yeah.
And I wouldn't be opposed to revisiting it at some point.
If there's a gateway program, we could do that too. Yes.
Why not the fall tree planting?
Well, but
It's in the city.
Yeah, I think those Virginia junipers are by far the best thing to have up there. They really will self-propagate into that area.
Okay.
And they look fine. So that's it's
So
one
what
of the
the-
few things that will really grow on that type of steep slope.
on the corresponding side, if you really want to plant a tree, you could plant one of those red junipers, and then, then you've got both of them going.
Well, see, the original, that design was sat on by ODOT because of they had a concern about planting trees on the bank for visibility issues. And I don't know if we would just plant something, if they would even say anything. Just do
They
it.
also worry about shade on the road and ice. That's another thing that's always been an issue for them is, that it holds the ice longer.
Yeah, but I think I would maintain the design that went in with that gateway project. The trees weren't close to the road to be a problem.
Yeah, we planted them 30 feet back, I believe.
Yeah.
Well, and on the slope, you know, I mean, those trees got to grow a long way up before they really do the shade issue.
And they're not really great on shade anyway.
Yeah, they're not.
You know, they're pretty,
Well, the arborvitae one.
Yeah, they're not going to be huge.
pretty,
So we're going to move this one forward then to the Service Safety Director? Good, good, excellent. I've got one other item under other business that I didn't put on the agenda. I've noticed we've got some vines growing back along the bike path trees. 2 or 3 years ago, we had a party go out in November to cut those vines. At the time, we mentioned that might be a good service project, but for anyone looking for a service project at the university. But with the timing of quarters and so on, it wasn't really a good way of dealing with it. Now we're in the semesters, it may be easier to find a service project. So if there's somebody out there who wants a service project in early part of November, then this is a good one. Otherwise, we're going to have to get a group of volunteers together to go out and do some more vine cutting in that time. But November's late enough that all the greenery's died back. The poison ivy is pretty obvious at that point. It's bright red, so you can keep clear of that. And all we need to do is just cut the vines. We don't have to remove them from the trees. In fact, it's recommended that you don't try and pull them off the trees. It's the damage you can do.
It might be a Boy Scout project too, like a Eagle Scout project or something like that.
It's a possibility. Yeah. So does anyone else have any other business? Yep. Go on.
We are required to have a council member.
Yes.
And
Well, we're supposed to have a council member.
Yeah, the mayor reached out, and we did receive a reply from Jennifer Cochran
Okay.
expressing interest, so she may be our council rep in the future.
Okay. Very good. Any other items? If not, we've got our minutes from the last meeting somewhere around here. The meeting on the 11th of July.
Since I wasn't here, I'll move that we accept the minutes.
John? Someone like to second the minutes?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any objections
I
to
was.
approving the minutes of the last meeting? Hearing none, we have minutes for the last meeting. Our next meeting is only in 2 or 3 weeks' time, September 11th. That will be the second Thursday in September, which is our more normal date for having a meeting. With that, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you.
It's the longest meeting.